Hello and welcome back once again to the ESL ESEA Pro League. I'm Alex Machine Richardson, joined by Lauren Pansy Scott. Nearly forgot my name there. And we are going to be jumping into our second game. Technically, it would be our third. Of course, unfortunately, we missed out on the Envy Flipside game due to a forfeit. But what we have seen already, if you have just joined us, was Fnatic. I'm going to say stomping, and you can stop me if I'm wrong. Stomping Penta over on DE Train. 3 rounds the Penta managed to acquire, but really strong showing from Fnatic, and it's good to see them on a map that they have previously opted to veto. Maybe they just weren't comfortable in it in the past. Now, just can dig their teeth into it. Of course, they have to here on ESL, ESEA Pro League. And our next map that we're going to be bringing you, quite a cracker. EnVyUS up against mousesports here on DE Mirage, and it's a map that I feel like we saw in the office, like, I feel like I haven't seen Mirage in a while. Good to see Mirage. I'm ready to be casting some Mirage.
We like a bit of Mirage,
I like a bit of Mirage.
We enjoy Mirage. I think it's a pretty good map. But the one thing I want to point out as well, this new mousesports lineup have got some fairly decent wins on it, to be fair. They picked up 1 win over ESEA, if that's how you pronounce it, but then they went on to lose to LGB. So, you know, at least they picked up a win previously under their old iterations of this lineup. They've always done quite nicely on it. I think the mix of Chris J with another All-Pro has always looked quite good. But for me, I don't know how much to expect from it just yet. You know, Godby's great, but, you know, 2 players from the original Mouse can't carry the 3 who kind of jumped in from Penta. So, I don't know. For me, it's still going to need a little bit of work here with these guys. But I think I think they could pick up a couple of rounds. But we'll have to wait and see, because in my eyes, Envy are pretty damn strong. So.
Yeah, I think you're probably pretty much hitting the nail on the head there. I don't know, again, if we need to touch on that point just about how round difference is going to come into this, because it's actually really interesting how the league's shaping up. Because, of course, the top 4 managed to secure that spot to the offline stages. And that top 4, when you have so many top teams, like I'm just going to rattle off what currently sits at the top 6. Okay, so 2 of these teams are not going to be able to make it. We're going to have Fnatic, Virtus.pro, EnVyUS, Dignitas, TSM, Titan, and I'm going to keep going, Navi, NIP. Like, that is the top 8. And 4 of those teams are not going to have a chance to participate. And it's going to come down to wins like Fnatic's example here on Train. That 16-3 puts them, you know, head and shoulders above teams that are really just closing out these games 16-14.
Yeah, because Envy don't actually have that much of a clean record on round difference thus far. I think they've got a 5 round difference, which is quite minimal, to be fair. But we'll have to wait and see how much that really comes into play down the line, see how much it actually affects some of these results. But at the end of the day, as you said, so few teams can go through here. It's going to be the top 4. And looking at it so far, we've got Fnatic, Virtus.pro, Envy, and Dig would be the teams to go through. I think we'll start seeing some teams excelling over others later in towards this, as we are still early in this. We've got 8 weeks of gameplay and games to come through. So there's a lot to be seen still. I think we might see a switch up, seeing maybe, I don't know, I'd like to see TSM in there. I think they are obviously a winning capability, but so far they've really had a hit and miss run, 3 wins, 3 losses, which isn't phenomenal for them. I think they can do substantially better.
As can NIP.
Yeah, exactly. NIP on 1 win and 3 losses, really not doing too good so far.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen too much from NIP, and just while we are loading into the server, guys, we're just swapping around, hence why you can see me kind of frantically staring at my monitor. I just want to make sure I'm in the server and ready to go before we kick this one off. So yeah, the point that needs to be made about NIP is that these guys, so popular, so strong. Like, I mean, every individual, I think you made a very good point and touched on something quite kind of, not deep, but very kind of integral to NIP, is that they've got so many strong individuals. We had that prime example from Alu not too long ago, but also Forrest, who's been top fragging a lot more recently. Yeah. And I mean, I'm pretty sure someone said recently that he's been putting a lot of extra time into CS recently, and that's where this new Forrest has come from.
Well, I think Lurpus actually touched on it on Twitter not too long ago, that Forrest has been finding a lot more form recently. Yeah. And he's been playing a lot better. He's been putting in the hours, and it's been a discussed topic. And a lot of the other teams have actually taken not necessarily a break recently, but took their foot off the pedal a little bit. You know, I was speaking to Kenny before their games not too long ago, and he said, you know, we don't have that many hours, you know, for the last couple of, last week or so, because we took a small step back. You know, once all the major events had been kind of completed, there was about a week where some teams took their break, some went to NA, some went to their, gaming houses and did their own, sort of thing. So maybe there's a little bit of that, but obviously the addition of maybe Natu towards the NIP boys could bring them back up. But how much effect does a coach have? There's so many different schools of thought towards coaching and what sort of impact they actually do have towards a team. Because would you say Natu is of the same capability and prowess as an IP, probably not, but as an external perspective, he probably can have a great opinion on what they're doing wrong and just kind of pick up on the small errors maybe they're making. But then again, do you want someone like that?
Yeah, and actually that's not that's actually kind of a talking point that I've actually talked on a lot just with various people throughout the office as well, is that it's actually quite interesting when you think about the presence of a coach, because usually in any esport, the coaches have played at a professional degree, but never usually at the kind of the highest peak.
Yeah.
And yet sometimes you see some very, very successful coaches who haven't yet necessarily been at that kind of peak of player performance. And I think it's a deep understanding of the game, which I mean we have no doubt Natu has, and I think that's,
of course.
That's something that he's always possessed and is going to continue to be able to be a real resource for NIP. The thing I have to say about it is that he's very, very good whenever we have him on the desk, whenever you put him in a situation, especially like color casting. I know you did quite a good bit with that and enjoyed that with him. He's very good at just kind of taking a back seat and seeing that the reason something didn't work. And that's something you need in a coach.
And the one thing I'll give him credit for is he doesn't overread into situations. Some people, I hate to say it, CS is a very in-depth game, but sometimes it will literally just come down to, in that round, in that situation, just X killed Y instead of Y killing X. And even Natu said, sometimes being a color caster, I have nothing to say about these rounds. And when people ask me for this in-depth analysis, I'm like, well, he just did better that round. This time that flash caught him instead of him turning it. Sometimes it's those simple things that come into practice, and it's not this super in-depth, incredible moment, but it was actually just something quite basic that worked out. So I think it's good that he can identify the difference between something super imperative and something like, well, they just didn't, hit that shot. And they should have done. Maybe they just need to spend more time warming up. Maybe instead of, having to play their official as their warm-up, they spend an hour before saying, hey, let's play some scrims, let's play some deathmatch, let's do this. If he can maybe... The one thing that I'll say is that it was a discussed point, and actually it was funny, it was one of the League of Legends players that I was speaking to at Katowice. Who was the guy on the desk? Who did the analysis for them? I'm trying to remember his name.
Cristo?
No. The ex-player.
Ex-player, now caster Crumbs?
Crumbs. I was discussing with Crumbs the difference between certain coaches and the coaching styles, and even he said, the main difference is as the night goes on, some coaches will literally have to implement training regimes for these players because they don't know how to put their time in properly. They don't know how to effectively practice rather than just playing over and over. And as we can see, I don't think this is a huge, side bias map, so you can just watch this going down in the background. But the one thing I would like to point out is that Steel's doing over in the NA region. I hate saying his name because it's like saying Voldemort's, but people lose their mind. But he's saying that the NA teams don't know how to put their timing correctly towards practice. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to review these demos effectively. They need to learn how to put their time in. So maybe Natu could take that role. It's all theoretical, but it's something to keep your eyes on.
And something we will keep our eyes on. Again, we are just still jumping in now to our first round of this. I mean, this is going to be a tough one for mousesports. Let's not sugarcoat it any more than it needs to be. Strong individuals, definitely a team who have started to post better results than, of course, their counterparts. Penta, EnVyUS on the other side of things have been looking really pretty in shape as we're going to be jumping into this best of one. On the left-hand side, he's Green's mousesports. On the right, EnVyUS is it's time now for the pistol. And we are going to be seeing two flashes, make it two flashes, a nade, and double smokes for EnVyUS. Ooh, a boost.
Nice. Just getting Chris J up on towards short very early on. And next does actually spot out, I believe that's Happy in towards those, towards the B apps. But EnVyUS not showing much thus far, kind of taking their time, spreading throughout this map. And I'm sure we'll see that execute coming in. It might be a B split and MBK just lurks through apps, A apartments in the end. We'll have to wait and see. I can imagine there's probably a smoke towards connector, maybe, and one towards window if they fancy it. And let's see what they go for here. Chris J is in a fantastic spot. Oh, he just turned as the pop flash does come out, and Envy do gain control of mid.
Whoa, big, even more control as he do take Chris down to just 17 points of health, and now potentially the rotates are going to be on from A, and that may be a bit premature as EnVyUS have managed to try and bait them out. Spiddy and Dennis just say no, though.
And Happy dying in those B apps is quite important as well. Him going down is probably going to eliminate that. And actually, Mouse have put 3 players over towards B, completely dedicated, whereas Spiddy and Dennis are the last 2 on A. This could actually work out.
Certainly could, but Spiddy's ready with a nade, smoke and flash coming in. He's going to try and catch up off with a P250. He's not going to happen. Shoxy too quick on the trigger. Dennis in response though. It's going to be back and forth. There you go. Chris J low. Let's not forget that as he's going to be trying to make an appearance. Nex is there for him though as bullets are flying and 2 make it 1 man remains now for EnVyUS as Nex has already picked up 3. Is he going to find the 4th? Gobby does it for him, and we are going to be seeing round 1 on the board for mousesports. And just 1 casualty as well. They managed to rotate quite neatly off of that kind of very early, more of a mid-game stack onto B.
And I want to point out how important Spiddy's smoke then was. It made it so hard for Envy just to push out and use those Glocks to their advantage, and it just held them back towards that Tetris ramp area. It was really nicely done. But now we can see Envy kind of doing what we've grown accustomed to, purchasing up towards those Tech 9s, 2 smokes, 3 actually, excuse me. So probably an execute maybe coming out of this one. See 3 of them lining up, 1 for stairs, CT, and probably jungle. And there we go. So the stair smoke coming out. I think that actually missed, so that could be an error. It is, and actually, this could possibly work into the favor of anyone playing towards that jungle area. You can see Spiddy starting to really reign supreme, but MBK did get a kill, but no gun.
And now, as the weapons start lining mousesports even more, so Chris J throwing the scout away for the SMG, and EnVyUS doing their best to do something with these pistols. The answer is going to be pretty much a resounding no. That's Happy is going to be the last man to fall. And the frags come thick and fast for mousesports. Again, just the 1 casualty as Chris J opts to pick that scout back up. No surprises there. And so EnVyUS, after opting to try and force into that second round, are going to struggle to really have anything to show for it. As now we are going to be seeing round 2, and I assume round 3 on the board for mousesports.
Yeah, Envy not a great deal of money, as you mentioned. The investment into that previous round, quite hefty. Even just those smokes and Tech 9s, it's always going to cost you a fair amount. And they didn't get the bomb plant in either. So this time, I'm not sure what they're going to really make of this. And already Spiddy finding MBK. That's going to really work in mousesports' favor, just to locking this one out. But still. EnVyUS just looking maybe to get a gun away. Ideally get a bomb plant, but Gobby dropped. Ooh, that was quite fortunate. That didn't go too far down. I think Shots was just down there earlier. But this should be a clean round for Mouse. And they've not overly invested just yet. They've still got the scouts in play, or a scout in play, should I say. So, Envy just going to try and look to take away something here.
And you
not
see
the Scoutmaster. Don't challenge him.
You really cannot. 3 picked up from him, and he's looking for the 4th as well. Not going to happen as Happy. He's just going to feed himself to the Sharks over on B. Bomb is loose, of course, as well. So this round is as good as over. And I mean, Chris J, 3 frags, so quick, so neat. You dare peek him with no armor, and he will just put a scout to your chest.
I wonder if he's going to stick with it. He's got 6.9k, and more often than not, Chris J will actually stick with the scout in round 4.
I think he's going to be happy
even
with
against a brought-up team, which is quite rare.
And he also knows he's not going to be up against an AWP. That gives him a bit more freedom. He knows he's not going to have that kind of scout v AWP play. Knowing well aware of EnVyUS' economy, and so we're going to be seeing him stick with that for a bit. Next. Maybe he thinks he's playing a face it or something. We're going to be seeing the stab come in. Oh, Shox flashes himself. This is a bit of a mess for either side. Dennis, though, draws blood first. Smiths, in response, as the scout makes an appearance once more. NBK, the man down, and 3 make it 2.5 as you see a very heavily tagged Smiths. As now, Frank's going on either side of the map. Seems to be mid being the primary focus point of EnVyUS, and Nex needs to make up for that earlier knife.
Oh, he's in a perfect spot. Oh, no.
Why did he drop off?
Could have been so big for Nex then, but now he's in such a bad predicament. But look at the HP. 9, 7, and 22. That is not a great deal. Nex could work something out here, but will he go for it? They're spreading out as well. They don't want to give like an easy lineup here, and you can see Nex just seeing if someone's going to push him in window. I think that's Keo. Yeah, Keo's not too far away from doing so, and Nex just not aware of how low these guys are. He's just going to back the hell up. And oh, it was so close.
It's like, mousesports need to open their console and start talking to each other like, well, hang on, let's do the maths. How much damage has been done here, or at least just try and work it out as... see if they can piece something together. Next is going to be holding that, and I think he may very well be able to catch you as that. He's going to be happy.
Happy's not going
He's having none of it.
Yeah, he's sat there like, I just want to get away from the bomb more than anything. I want nothing else. But mousesports did have the economy. Now they should be able to buy back up. Wondering what Chris J's going to do. Got 8k. He can go for the AWP if he wants to. Have to wait and see. I think he's just kind of weighing up the odds, and he has gone for it. So always like to see Chris J with this. I think he's already playing quite an important role for mousesports so far. Got a little bit overwhelmed in mid. Maybe, could have done more with the scout, but Envy, they're going to land those shots with the AK. You've got to be almost expecting it. Faking out that pop flash towards mid. No one's going to fall off the back of it. And Envy just taking their time.
Talking of faking, look at that bomb's positioning. Happy's just going to be keeping that at A with MBK and him playing very passive roles. And the EnVyUS side going to be battling for some slow mid take, it seems. I mean, Shox is there. Keo even pushed up towards Apps. And it looks like Shox and his buddy Smiths are going to be setting up to try and pressure Godby and Chris. I know I wouldn't fancy it. Godby, though, has gone aggressive. That's going to make him very vulnerable if they do choose to pick this, especially with the flash to foot to engage the push. But Godby smokes it out. That's going to put a bit of a spanner in the works and slow EnVyUS down once again as Keo starting to maybe try and pressure B. And there's 3 players there. They've got Chris J off mid with this.
This is interesting. Envy have actually pushed out in mid as well, but Keo's still there. They've got some mid control. Godby is no longer sitting so close towards short, and it looks like an AXQ 2-2 split coming in. Shox and Smith through connector. They're going to try and make a play, but Chris J misses a vital shot, allowing Smith through, but will they expect the player in dark?
You wouldn't expect so. Spiddy has gone undetected for now. NBK surely going to check his corner. He does. Happy's there as well, as that's going to be 2 quick frags. Nex and Godby, the remaining for the CT side. That's 1, that's 2, and all of a sudden this is looking a little bit more doable for the mousesports side. Godby coming through jungle. Smith is going to make himself known, and it's going to be all too easy. Oh, it should have been easy for Nex to pick that one up. Smith's just a fraction of health. He's going to get another one. Oh, it was looking good. Nex, such a strong fragger. Not strong enough, though, as the 3 isn't going to render the round, and we're going to be seeing the bomb go down as well as EnVyUS prevail in the 5th.
It was down to so little time. If only Godby was able to stay alive a touch more, it would have been just it could have been different. It could have been different, but so many small paths just didn't come into play. Chris J missing that shot towards connector. That is just a real error. Spiddy making no impact from, I think he was playing, towards dark, and now look at this stack up from EnVyUS. They are just going all out, but a perfect connection from Dennis taking down MBK. Great beginning, but will anyone else find that 5-7 in towards the brains of Envy? They're already starting to stack up. There is 3 players now looking towards 8. Nex is a little late to the party, but those 5-7s can do damage.
Yeah, he can. There's just a corner of the smoke for Smiths to use. He's going to be able to spot a couple of bodies. It's FUTS 1. There is one just looking connector as well, as the bomb's going to start going down, and it looks like these pistols are going to do their very best to try and take a couple of frags with them, and they do. That's a nice one from Chris J. They've already taken down 2, and they're going to be happy with that one. Reasonable damage exerted to the EnVyUS economy for very minor from the mousesports side, and they're going to be ready to invest into this one and see if they can bring the 4th home.
Yeah. Chris J repurchasing the AWP as well. So I'm wanting to see him do some impact. So far, we've seen nothing really with it. He's been overwhelmed. The scout was good until, the turn round. But for me, Envy not opting for AWPs, just playing it out with the AKs, with the rifles. They've got the mollies as well, which kind of indicates maybe a B to me, something along those lines. And already Chris J going back to the boost, so could get an early shot towards short if he fancies it. And he'll be very close to B if they make this push.
EnVyUS once again just kind of hitting that standstill courtesy of the smoke from Nex as this standoff once again begins. It was Godby prior, now Chris J holding aggressively on short. Smiths and Shox just lurking in the middle area, and that of course enables them to have like instantaneous mid control if they choose to take it. Nex though again wins out up against Happy. That's big, as now that potential, maybe I don't want to say lurk, but that bomb course loose just outside of Apps is going to mean that the EnVyUS presence in mid is probably going to be nullified.
I want to see what they do with these mollies as well. Smiths and MBK both have them. MBK picking up that bomb. You can see Chris J just holding that mid push, waiting for maybe that late flash to come out, and now I think we are seeing that push up towards short as well. Dennis is under pressure, but Chris J does find Shox, and Dennis working around the smoke, spots one getting towards Sandwich, gets the shot off, Keo goes down, but now the bomb is going towards B. It's not A. Smith's a centimeter away from Spiddy, who comes out in towards mid, but this is what it's about now. MBK 1v4. He's got the site almost to himself, barring Nex, but now here comes that rotate. Mouse, know what's up. 20 seconds left. He's in a bad predicament here.
He catches Nex though, and Nex was so ready for that as well. He really had to drop on him.
Oh,
he gets
MBK.
a second. Oh, Nathan, what have you got for me now? Bomb going to be going down. Godby and Dennis do remain, and it looks like Godby's going to go hunting. Oh my God, he's got another one. He's looking for the 5th though. Time is of the essence. He needs to get that bomb down. Trying to put the digits in. He does so. Could this be magical? It is. It's an ace. NBK does the impossible, and mousesports crumble.
Absolutely insane. Even just buying that extra second on the site after getting the bomb down, adjusting round, expecting the push. mousesports just got absolutely schooled by MBK. That is above and beyond what you can expect. Jesus. 4-3, EnVy back in the driving seat here. mousesports have no money. They should be demoralized as hell after that round.
Yeah, quite the opposite for EnVy.
They completely read the situation. They knew where MBK was. They knew he had the bomb. They should never have lost that. Now a very quick B play coming out from EnVy. Just going to let that Mac-10 go to town. Shox takes down Nex, and even Happy waiting on that rotate through short, destroying these players. That should never have happened.
This is a tilting point now. mousesports, they were quite confident, especially, you know, as they were reading into EnVyUS's play more and more. Then that happened. Then NBK got an assault to the wound, and they charged into that site instantaneously with a Mac-10 at the forefront of that one. And now, 3-5, we're going to be seeing how much they can run with this momentum.
They're still not wanting AWPs at all. The T side opting out of it almost. NBK has 10k. He could easily get an AWP for his team, but not fancying it, not wanting it. They have the 2 mollies again. But this is a very different start. Quick play towards A. Spitty and Dennis waiting out. There's those mollies in practice, but NBK just doing the damage, picking up the double. Dennis and Spitty go down. 3 left standing, and they've got to make an impact here. Godby has been very quiet compared to what I've seen from him normally. Now let's see if they can retake this. All of EnVy backing away towards ramp. NBK far off, just watching them push around the back. Godby, smoke out towards those A-apps. But look at this play. Next, spots out Keo pushing aggressively. They work their way in. 2v3 now. They should have this one. Next gets down Shox. Systematically, don't you dare do this, NBK. You cannot pull off this magic twice. The time is running low. He's waiting so long. He's going to peek the bomb site. He needs to get it. He cannot. Next was watching. And they may just have made up for that horrific round not too long ago. But a close one now. This is much closer than I expected. If mousesports can turn up on the T side, this should be a really good game.
And that's what we were looking for as well. Next, though, is the man to watch. Every frag he picks up is vital, as he just seems to have no problem dispatching of the EnVyUS side. Chris J, though, still a little quiet since the AWP has lined his palms. As mousesports doing something a bit different, you can see the 2, we'll make it 3 CTs using that push through jungle and window respectively. Chris J going aggressive up middle. This is actually really interesting. You need to jump onto Chris J now because you can see they've gone super aggressive through middle, and that's because of Shox and Smith playing quiet. That is a pickup. Chris J read into EnVyUS's play, and they're going to be able to pick 1, almost 2 off the back of that one. Shox just 4 points of health, and that nade, Kobe is just going to tickle him. He had 4 points of health, now knocked down to 3, as he's going to back away from that one. And we are just going to be seeing that loose bomb and a slightly shaken EnVyUS.
I want to see more impact from the AWP on the T side, and I don't think I'm going to get much of that, as Spitty was the one to find NBK. Now, that AWP was with Happy, so still on the board, but 2 players left. mousesports really starting to turn up here after that real slip. Maybe Godby just kind of commanding his troops to start performing here. Chris J going hunting, spots out Shox, makes up for the nade, not quite connecting, and now Happy. I don't think he can quite do an NBK here, but he's certainly looking like he wants to at least get something.
He's just going to be hunting for some sort of consolation prize and just a millimetre more.
I think Godby might have heard him.
He would have found him. I wouldn't be surprised. Throwing out his flash as well. That's going to make them even more too familiar with his position.
Spitty's going chasing as well.
And they are on the hunt. They know there's going to be an AWP in his hands, and that flash is going to mean that Happy's well and truly aware that there is a hunter in his midst. It's going to be Jaws theme tune. 13 seconds on the clock. Happy throwing out that smoke. He's desperate to keep this AWP in his hands. It's going to come down to the no-scope. It's funny because he has JW's name on his AWP and he needs to land the no-scope. 3 seconds, but he's played this perfectly. Happy, it's all going to come down to is he going to push? He's not. He is now. Oh my. Oh! What?
Jesus Christ. As if that happened.
That's ridiculous.
As if that. God damn it. Spitty. Spitty. And now he needs a drop. He's like, please, someone just take pity on me, all right? I'm having a tough time right now. So I think Chris J just dropped him over a lovely gift of an M4, but Chris J does have the AWP back, and we are seeing a massive presence in mid from EnVy. This looks like their faster play, which we saw come into practice before, but it's a 4-man stack up short. Happy going through apps, but the important factor is they have taken over mid, they smoked out the window, and they're up to connector, but there's Godby! He's still there! Godby just gets 1 though, but the information's gathered. But what can they do now? EnVy's bomb is in a terrible predicament.
And I love the response from EnVy. They straight away realize, okay, Chris J and his buddy Spitty pushed up mid last round. Let's 4-man stack it. They do choose to push it, and they are on kind of a bomb retrieval mission at this point. As you said, it is in a tight spot. I think Shox has managed to recover it. And now, it is a 4v4. EnVyUS a little worse for wear, and NBK does get tagged up once more. And Happy training on with this AWP, and you said there hasn't been too much of a presence of this T-side AWP yet, in comparison, of course, to the openers that we have seen from Chrisjay, both Scout and AWP alike. And now Happy.
And I love how cautious Mouse are. Chrisjay's actually watching CT spawn. He's not sure if they've gone through connector and got themselves into jungle and through window. So Chrisjay now adapting round, could be watching the push in, but here comes the EnVy side. 2 down already. It's down to Chrisjay to hold this site. He's got Happy, but the bomb's still in play. Next is over on short, but where is that bomb going to be planted? Keo going to make the challenge. Chrisjay adapting. 25 seconds. EnVy need to make something out of this. And oh, that's massive. Picking up shocks here. That's a bomb loose. Keo, I'm not sure he can cross back here without being spotted out. Surely Next can get this.
That is an insane pickup from Chrisjay. He picked up 2 vital frags in that round. He shut down Happy. He shut down the presence crossing to the bomb. That was big. And Chrisjay, we said he was being a little quiet. We really cannot continue to say that. 12 frags. He's at the top of the scoreboard now. He's picking up frags with the AWP, and he's starting to really be a bit of a thorn in the side of EnVyUS.
I'm just hoping that we see a good Mouse on the T side. I think so far what we've seen is a very impressive Mouse on the CT. I say this in comparison to EnVy, of course, who are now just on the eco. They've actually invested quite well into this head armor, Tech9's B rush, let's go. Next is going to be just destroyed. And this is going to be a worrying sight. They're just flooding the site here. Chrisjay connects towards Keo, but oh, don't you dare line up. Ooh, nice work from NBK, and there's 2 more victims awaiting. They can turn this, and NBK is doing the damage by himself.
Okay, now pressure now on Spiddy and Dennis, those 2 outliers for the side, 8 and 5 frags respectively, looking to add to their collection. Smith says no, though. He's picked up 2 in this round, and he's going to be looking to do a little bit more. Dennis shuts that dream down. Now 2 more to find.
Shocks is round the back.
Oh, he's going to get hunted, but I think he's aware of it. This is going to be nice. It's now onto a 1v1. Time is of the essence, though, and Dennis knows it, as he has to go hunting. Happy has full armor, full health HP, and he's going to get caught on the cross. No, he's not. Dennis get out of there, snatches the CZ, and wow, very effective. You said they bought into it. The armor and Tech9 seemed to be all they needed, as they did surprise with that B stack.
Yeah, Next just got like instantly destroyed as he tried to come through then. It was just
double
like,
from NBK, that's what you needed.
Yeah, there's not much you can do, and that's in practice. And let's see. I think we do have a quick pause coming in for this one. Just gonna maybe talk things through a little. I don't think anyone's dropped out, so maybe just a discussion to be had. But we'll wait and see what they can bring, because looking at the CT side, they've got a little bit of a strange combination for money. Chrisjay's still on 6.9k, but no one else really has money towards that sort of effect. So it's probably going to be like a cobbled eco. You never know. You might even get to see him with a scout again. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Chrisjay. No, but then he's got to take on Happy with the AWP. Whether or not he expects it, because EnVy haven't really picked it up that many times. They haven't always opted for it. But yeah, all in all, a little disappointed in God B so far. God B has been normally really I'd say instrumental in mousesports doing well, but it's not a bad thing to see the likes of Next picking up, Dennis picking up, because it was normally, hey, there's that, 2-man original mousesports team doing all the work.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing maybe the effect of those 3 players from Penta coming in, actually pulling, a lot more of their weight here.
Yeah, and I mean, Next has always been a fragger, so it's good to see him continuing to do what he does best. And we'll wait for this pause to subside. Of course, we have to address this 6-6 scoreline. Mousesports, I think the only thing that can be said too much about this at this stage in the game is exactly what you have already been saying, is will Mousesports have an effective T side? And I think that's something they've been struggling with more. They've always had more glimmers of hope on the CT side. It's something that it's a lot more kind of instinct for these guys, especially when you've come from a team before, you have a good understanding of how the other teams, like your other teammates, like to play. T side, however, is so much more communication, team orientated, making the right calls in a very short space of time, and that comes with exactly that. That comes with time, and that's something Mousesports are going to have to try and hasten if they want to start to battle with the big dogs like EnVyUS.
Exactly, and I wonder how God B's going to perform, because he's generally the guy on the T side. So far, EnVy have been absolutely more than adequate. Absolutely fine with the way they've been playing. Not the strongest of T sides I've ever seen, but it's perfectly fine. Remove NBK's ace, remove the Tech9 rush to B, maybe not so, but for now they're perfectly fine. And we are seeing that weird mixed buy. Okay, so Next has the scout, Chrisjay goes for the AWP, Spiddy has nothing, and God B has a Famous. That's weird. But look at EnVy, they're going straight in. They maybe don't expect a board-up team. This could be quite big.
Oh, but Smith just completely strolls into the site, strides in with confidence, and that's going to catch Mousesports off guard. 2 picks, and I mean, they just need to clutch onto these weapons and back away right now.
think Christian is already like leaving.
Yeah,
he's already in kitchen.
Get out of there.
He's gone. He doesn't want to lose that AWP. And yeah, even if Envy didn't predict them having weapons that round, it didn't really matter, because as you said, as soon as Smiths and Keo just felt confident, went in, got 2. Bomb down, and Chris J just...
I'm scared for Chris.
Chris, come on. No, you're not going to survive. MBK's there, and that's the
time. He could have got further away. I think he was just comfortable in spawn. I think Gobby could be in a bit of trouble. He's using the ladder. Oh, he felt the temptation, and he's going to lose it as well. And Mouse, 2 really unnecessary losses, and that's going to cost them. As now that's an AWP and a rifle gone. And their economy does not allow much for wiggle room.
Definitely not. Okay, so...
Are we going to see a 5-man scout ace involving the nade? No. Let's see what he can take.
I expect them just to rush mid with Next just sitting around the back.
We saw what happened with Smith walking into the A side. I wouldn't be surprised if EnVyUS kind of have a good, similar idea of what's going to happen and try exactly the same thing again. This time with a little bit more confidence on the buy-up. That's a big pickup. Dennis putting a couple of 5-7 bullets on towards ramp. He gets 1, and now Shox could be caught off guard here. He isn't, as Dennis is doing what Dennis kind of attempted to do before the round before, trying to get aggressive with the pistols, and we are just going to see bodies start to litter the A bomb sighters. Okay, Next, not too shabby for a start. Let's see if he can find any more as a rifle gets blown his way. I have to say that if he can take a couple more rifles out of EnVyUS' hands, he'll have a little bit more bragging rights going into that final round.
Yeah, he's got himself the AK, so he might just try and get out, if I'm honest. He's trying to make a run for it, but there is already someone in that CT spawn, so if he does try and make it out of the window, he's going to be in trouble. And where's he going to? Next is just waiting out. Now, Keo actually thought maybe he missed him. We keep hunting around, but no. The AK is safe. Next stays alive, so at least they do have a gun still in play. Oh god, Keo. Oh, Keo is just over the other side. Next is not going to peek for love nor money. So yeah, the money is still awful. Chris J just enough to get armor and full utility, let's say, and then got the gun drop for him. So, not brilliant, to be fair, not brilliant. mousesports need this one as well, I think. If Envy going 9, I think they'll be confident on the CT side. If Mouse get this, it'd be really important for them, in a moral sense, just kind of keep themselves morale, even not morals. They have no morals. But yeah, Envy making a big mid push here.
Yeah, and they've done this before, and it worked out. It kind of caught mousesports off guard last time. Not this time. Spitty not going to fall for the tomfoolery. He picks up a double, and that's going to be Shox in response. He gets a double in response. This is just back and forth they go. EnVyUS, though, 2 players, and they are a little caught up potentially for this retake. You see the 3 members on the CT side all going to kind of push in one big wave, and Happy, he's still looking towards spawn.
Yeah, this is still very possible. We saw the retake working last time for Mouse when they actually had this sort of situation, but Happy in a great spot, peeks in, gets down Chris J. Even though Shox is so low, oh my word, Happy is still going for this one. Godby up against Happy. Time is of the essence, and Godby needs to make a play. Got the defuse kit, walking around, spots out the bomb. Goes in for it, and Happy says no. That's the triple for him. And that was the play I wanted to see coming out from Envy. They're so good when they pick it up and put it into practice, and we saw it right there. But all in all, not a bad side for mousesports. I think they did okay. Yeah. I think they can be pretty happy with some of those rounds. Some, they really need to look back on. Even allowing MBK the chance to get that ace shouldn't have happened. So I think they need to review that going back. Like, how did we even let someone have that opportunity when we're all on the site? Yeah,
you made some good points, especially considering that they've won some full EnVyUS buy-ups.
Look at this round. It's just... There's 3 players right there. And no one's there to avenge. He can pick up these kills 1 by 1 because mousesports fight him 1 by 1. Now's a good play, but he was able to pick up God B because Dennis wasn't there quick enough. And now look at this time he takes. Just taking that step back allowed him to get out of the AK and take the shot towards Dennis. That second allowed him to get that. That is just beautiful to watch. And that's just MBK. He is such a powerful player. But all in all, mousesports should never have let him have that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm ready now to jump on into that second half. You said 9-6 EnVyUS are going to be comfortable. Let's see if mousesports can make them not so, as it's time now to see how this second half unfolds. This is, of course, a best of 1. If you have just joined us, where have you been? Smith's going to be trying to do something as they get aggressive, and he does just that. It's going to be a trade-off, though. As now, the CTs are kind of a little bit overly pushed up. They kind of swap roles, it seems, as the Julies from Keo are going to do damage. Not enough, as Spitty and Nex are just picking him up left and right. Shox the last man. to try and pick up something off the back of this one. God be low, and he's not going to show a scrap of his body. As that is going to whittle down Shox and bring this round home. That's a start the mousesports needed. They needed to pick up that first one. And the real test is going to be now in the second. As the bomb does go down, it's going to give Mouse a little bit more control in this round. But it's going to come down to the second round. It's going to come down way a round they shouldn't, just like we were talking about before.
Exactly, and EnVy are great at buying into those second rounds. I wouldn't be surprised to see them come out with something, but Shox is edged in on towards side, doesn't get the shot off, and godb will defend the plant and get a very well-needed round to start off on their T side. So mousesports get themselves in, and let's see what the CT side do. So I wouldn't be surprised to maybe Scout. It's just Happy's got Deagle and armor. There's the Scout coming into play. So basically, in case you don't know, I'm pretty sure most people do, the Deagle, the way it hits, pretty much sets up for a one-shot from the Scout, so you can kind of walk off the back of each other. But we're seeing chrisJ with the same on the T side, so it's kind of like a Scout v Scout here.
Yeah, not going to be giving them too much. godb and Dennis, the ones paying attention in middle. Smiths is the one considering it with just that CZ. Full armor though. He's not going to be taking too much damage from these nades that are being rained out towards him. And that Scout battle is maybe going to be becoming a reality. We can only hope. As of course it is Shox that has it, and Shox is starting to make his way towards mid-window. Scout v Scout, and it looks like Shox is going to go for it. He's holding the angle, but chrisJ is one of the masters of the jump Scout. I certainly wouldn't want to, and Shox realizes that's probably not the wisest decision. That's now still a minute on the clock. This is where the mousesports side are well aware now that the buy has been taken by EnVyUS, and it's a case of not fumbling a vital second round in the second half.
Mouse are being extraordinarily cautious with this as well. They are not rushing. They don't want to be caught off guard. They want to find out where these players are. Smiths, however, is pushed in towards ramp, so he's got himself in an unorthodox spot there, but godb spots out one towards window. Dennis is going to go and pick up the kill for him. Picks that up well. That Shox down. That's mid-control theirs. And EnVyUS now need to kind of stack the right site, basically. And I don't think they're going to. MBK and Happy are coming back towards A, where Spiddy and Nex are starting to look towards B. Dennis in a very important position. Happy. Just going to get that nice complimentary deagle. And now the three players in the wrong bomb site can't do much.
Yeah, now it's going to come down to Dennis just trying to take the armor away from the EnVyUS boys if he chooses to. Of course, he's well and truly aware that he doesn't want to lose his Galil either. And MBK is just going to bring a fight to him. And just to pinch the Scout off Shox's corpse as well. So, very, very nice for mousesports. Very slow and steady wins the raised kind of approach. They didn't want to take any risks whatsoever. They managed to bait out the rotate as well, courtesy of Dennis' presence in mid. And that, my friends, is how you play a second round safely. That was a prime example for mousesports, and EnVyUS kind of fell into their trap, where they're also going to be seeing maybe Mouse getting a little overly aggressive. I think they seem to accept that there are going to be some additional armors into that third round and just really try not to lose their own investment.
Yeah, they've got bomb plants. I think they can risk a little, but they don't want to risk a lot. They do still have one Galil, which I guess could be given to godb if they want to switch up a little here. He's going to actually invest into an AK for himself, so he's absolutely fine. They're all pretty good. chrisJ likes to stick with the Scout coming into the third and fourth rounds of these.
Fifth and sixth.
Yeah, he knows what he wants anyway. But we see once again EnVy on a bit of a mixed bag buy, but they do have that AK in play, so Keo could do some work here. They've got him. Let's see where they put Keo. Actually, I'm kind of interested. So they're expecting him on towards A, and actually mousesports heading towards B. There's two players from EnVy waiting, but it is MBK with the Scout and Happy just tucked into the corner. This could be massive. If MBK gets their attention for a second, and he does, they might completely ignore where these players are. MBK finds Dennis, but he's still waiting. Happy is in these apps. He's waiting out. This is perfect play from Happy. The bomb is just about to go down. Waits, he waits, he waits, he pounces, gets down one, gets down two. Happy with the patience of a saint, leaving just chrisJ and godb alive. And this should be an EnVyUS round. That was beautiful to watch. chrisJ, I don't think, can save this one. Tries to come around the corner, Tech 9 to hand, takes down two! Oh my god, takes down three, finally! Dealt with by Smiths, but he does have the death kit, and the defuse will come in. Two players then, going absolutely beyond belief.
chrisJ, stop playing with my heart. Good God, it's been about that B site today. His teammates just like to go for clutches, as that got dangerously close. But Happy What a play from him. I mean,
he held his nerve so long.
How few players see that and don't just start to pull the trigger. That is just really firm understanding of the game and also trust in his teammate. He expected the distraction to come in from MBK. Very, very nice execution there from EnVyUS, and they're going to be seeing the AWP now in the hands of Smith as he's going to go for the opener, and Dennis says no. Wow, Swift on the AK, and that's big.
He almost tried to adjust target. He saw two, looked at one, went back to the second, and then you're dead.
Spoilt for choice.
That's it, and now mousesports have complete control of mid. There is MBK on short, but he's kind of smoked out. I think he might be able to see a touch towards connector, but that's not the point. He found Chris J challenging. That was a little bit questionable. But then again, Mouse are working towards A. Another smoke will come in, and we're going to see Mouse building here. Next has the bomb. He needs to make it to site. Still yet to cross. It's allowed time for Envy to get towards CT. This could still change.
Still a lot of time for this round to evolve, and evolve it will. Shox and MBK picking up rounds, but we're going to see Gobby and Spiddy respond as now Happy trying to do something. He does, connects through the booth. Spiddy now down, and it's going to be a 1v1. Happy has done all of this
it's applied for short,
far too well before. Oh, he has made his whereabouts known. He's going to have to chuck out an A, try and bait Gobby into taking damage. Not going to be enough, though, as time is Gobby's best friend. He's just going to keep playing with Happy. He hasn't got the nades to hand. He has got the flash.
He's going for it.
Wait, Gobby peek him and needs. Woo! Again, my heart. I'm going to be dead by the end of this one. Oh, okay. Gobby gets there in the end after making it all too close. 10-9.
But the thing is, there's no other player from that mouseboard side that I'd want in that situation. Gobby, the prolific player, just known for that sort of play. How many times has he been in that situation, you think? But that was down to the second.
Yeah.
Exactly, that last second, just toying with it. Mouseboard's on the verge of getting this back to 10-10. Envy down on a really shoddy buy here. Nothing to be really spoken of apart from that scout with MBK, who's actually playing B pretty much on his own here, switching up with Happy, putting him up towards short. And actually, MBK could be into a pretty close. And we know MBK can do some work with this scout. So let's see what he can bring. Going for those jump shots. Does find one. Two connections, actually, tell a lie. Dennis and Nex both getting tagged up there. Great early work. So those P250s will suddenly become very deadly.
Yeah, and that's a dangerous angle. That's so much information you can gather all the way through towards the underpass stairs. Happy was there looking to connect that one bullet. He knew there was the one low. Worth the risk. And now, once again, we hit that standstill. Great damage has been put out from MBK. He had to pay a slight price, though. Teammates just equipped with P250 is going to be looking to make something out of this round, and that bomb still in the hands of Chris J in mid. Next there to back him up, and it's going to be actually, if Happy chooses to go aggressive here, the smoke's going to completely block him off. If he chooses to push through, I think it's actually going to be Shox on connector who's going to meet the brunt of this force, and it's going to be painful as here come the frags. Keo hanging loose in dark. There's a man in noob corner. He's going to be found out. And this is just beautiful. Mouse checking every single spot. And this is something we saw them maybe sometimes struggle to do over on CT. They're not making the mistakes. They're not losing the easy frags. And this is another safe, secure round from Mouse.
It's very impressive. Mousesports very clinical and not rushing, taking their time, slowly executing, being cautious. This is something we saw earlier on from them. Something we didn't see in their previous games in the pro. A little bit mixed, and the economy for the CT side is really so shoddy. Look at this buy. It's one M4 with Shox. We got a CT with Smiths, a Famous, a Scout, and a Mag. You know, it's not great. It's really not great. A Mouse playing it calm, but with 4 mollies. That's very unique.
Yeah, and I think they're kind of going to be aware that there's going to be
Keo.
A pretty shoddy buy, and Keo has got himself into prime position. But
If they go
is
away.
a glorious pop flash. That's a full one. As now he's going to continue to just sit by the sidelines. The attack, however, is not going to be giving him too much love. The T's just orientating themselves for another slow one. This seems to be mousesports pace here.
And look at the kind of meat grinder that's in connector at the moment as well. Shox and Smiths both sitting so close to each other. It could be so important in that mid connector area between those two. But even then,
how passive is this? I mean, if you open up that overview, you can see, look at that stack.
Yeah.
So far back. I mean, they are about, what, 3 steps away from T-spawn. And they are just going to watch that clock tick away. That's the meat grinder that I was talking about earlier. You can see them on connector. The double S, Smiths and Shox. As mousesports, I don't know what they're anticipating. Maybe anticipating some sort of eco push.
Yeah, I think this is just mousesports when they're not sure what buys against them, really.
Yeah, they want to try and get some intel.
Cautious.
30 seconds left, and this is actually going to start working in EnVyUS's favor as mousesports are finally going to start pushing towards the B site. NBK, his finger must be getting a little achy as he's been hitting jump for far too long, as now here comes the pushing. He has been pushed away. That's Prime, as now Shox using probably the best weapon that they currently have in their arsenal to pick up one. Next, though, trying to get these entries, and he's done just that. Bomb now in, 10 seconds left, and they really are cutting it fine exactly. Smith is going to push straight through the smoke and find Blood. Now 3v3 made 3v2. That's important as Kyo with his Mag 7 in hand is going as far into the site as he can. All onto Shox now. It's going to be a 1v1.
Yeah, and he could do this. He knows where Spiddy is, but the bomb not really ideal here either for Spiddy. This could be dangerous and nicely handled by Spiddy, not allowing him to cross towards that site. Gets the AK sorted out, but that was very close.
Yeah, and that wasn't EnVyUS like really smartly rotating or reading into mousesports play. That was mousesports just making it difficult for themselves with that timing on the push. They really were kind of like, I guess they were edgy on the buy.
But I also want to point out once again how good mousesports are at keeping EnVy's economy down.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen a full buyout from EnVy almost. It's always been like these shoddy kind of purchases.
When was the last time we saw an AWP?
It's a very good question. And Mouse could be almost very pleased with this, because look at them. There's a P250, a couple of 5.7s, and a CZ. EnVy cannot afford much more. They're trying to, not necessarily force the couple of rounds prior were, but they're trying to catch him off. But Mouse's caution has been so important, and Chris J starting to lurk up towards short, feeling a little bit more confident. He only has that Mac 10. He's aware that EnVy are very poor. He wants to punish that, and he might just start doing so. No, denied by MBK. He might get himself a nice little SMG.
And that's some information gathered from Chris J. It wasn't a completely faultless endeavor, as now that's going to enable him to, well, again, he's aware it's in the Mac 10 now in the hands of MBK, but you can really see a contrast in mousesports play when they know what the economy's like. Oh, he's going to get caught off with a bottle in his hands, and he is going to be put down, and now Kyo, that's going to be another weapon in his hands, and all of a sudden mousesports, this slow start of play that I was just complimenting, is starting to come tumbling down. Of course, there is a distinct lack of armor, and Spiddy, distinct lack of health for him.
Yeah, Spiddy could be in trouble here. He's being really pressured in towards those A-apps, but it's now down to those two players in mid to make the difference. They need to take down Kyo. They need to then clinically check for MBK. They need to do what they did before, but now, under time pressure. 25. There we go. Next finds Kyo. That's perfect. Good beginning. But MBK has pushed up. He's in such an awkward predicament. Beautiful shot from Spiddy. And now time is of the essence. Happy and Shox are a little far away. I'm not sure if they can get a gun. Yes, Happy found an AK. That's still to be seen. Shox can take down Spiddy. That's another gun. They both have guns here. This is a big challenge coming up.
He's going to be trying to use the smoke as best he can. Gobby, though, connects, and now Shox. He does have armor, just 20 points of health, though. He's going to put the spray down. He knows that this is going to be a pretty tough mountain to climb. Just catches a glimpse of one. It's going to be Gobby to wrap that one up. 2 for him, and a very, very nice frag from Spiddy. He had so little health to work with, but he just got into the mind of MBK, expected that kind of push-up aggressively with the Mac 10, and we are going to be seeing AWP number 2.
They've gone for the double AWP, but they can't afford armor on Happy. That's... Hey, if that's what they feel they want to do, they know best. But let's see if that's going to, bite them a little bit down the line. I want to see how they make this one work, really. Chris J opting just for the Tech 9 as well. I feel this is something they've actually planned. So we'll wait and see if this pans out the way I think it is. But let's see those double AWPs in play. And wow, very early aggressive start towards B, backing up. Then maybe just trying to find the lay of the land. This is a very strange round so far.
I mean, go, catch a nade, back off. Is that what they wrote down? It's going to be what we see from mousesports is once again this kind of not unrecognizable play from mousesports, but it's certainly looking a bit new. Something that they've definitely gone to
the execute. They're doing a B execute.
I know what they are, and MBK's not ready for it. He's going to get whited up big time as now they're going to start pushing in. MBK, complete vision obscured, both smoke and flash alike, and now he is going to be in a bit of a tough place. Fortunately, Smith is there to pick up the pieces, though. This mouse are going to start getting him picked apart. They are deep into the side, though. Dennison next doing damage as Chris J from the back is going to be there with the Tech 9. Smith's close quarters with the AWP. That's going to cost him as well. And here come the bodies. Just 2 CTs remain. Happy and Kyo trying to do their best. And Kyo does something, but there's a response from Nex. And it's got to be said that mousesports, this slow and steady style, is just so rewarding.
It is. And I think Chris J just spotted or heard Happy. I'm not sure. Maybe just looked at the right time, cut him off. But this is what I wanted to say, right? Chris J, I've seen this before in a couple of teams, and whether or not this was true to trend, but Chris J could have purchased something a little riskily in that round. Went for the Tech 9 purchase because you know, on a B play, you're more than likely to lose one of your team for one, and you're more than likely to kill one of the others. And he felt confident he could pick up a weapon and work it towards the next round. And if not, if he got a kill, he could probably afford naught. It's something that I asked him, like, why do you, it's Shocks normally they put in that position, and then he's so confident he'll pick up an AK or something similar that he'll sometimes just stick with the Tech 9. I was just like, it's that's insane.
True matchmaking, you know, like follow the guy with your...
Yeah, like, but it's honestly, no, I was really impressed by the way they kind of, you know, completely had faith in the fact that they'll probably get a gun at least somewhere throughout the round. Now,
okay.
Look at this scoreline. Let's just take stock here, because it's 13-10. mousesports are leading, and this is incredible, because EnVy's money is absolutely ruined. They've gone for what they can, but it's not good.
They are going for it, and this is going to make it so very close. Chris J, well and truly aware of that B defensive player, just caught a glimpse of the tip of his dome, but not going to find the frag just yet. And now, no head armor across the board. That's not too much of a loss for EnVyUS, but the weapons, however, tell a different story. Keo with that Mag 7. Is he going to be on ramp? He looked to favour that last time he picked up that weapon.
And actually this time, though, Mouse are actually going A. They didn't go A last time. This could be very different, but Shocks goes down. That is a massive loss. But will they now expect Keo to be so close? Will he stay that close? Does he have the guts? Yes. You can see him thinking about it. He's like, no.
No, he's also staring at that M4 like, that looks better than a Mag for 7. No, this is going to be another slow one from the boys on the right-hand side of your screen. mousesports, no stranger to a slow round, and it is putting ants in the pants of EnVyUS. As Keo does manage to recover that M4. And now 40 seconds for these guys to try and find another way into the site. Flash coming out. It looks like the bomb is going to still be making its way towards A. And by this time, look at the stack. 3 players over towards B. They've read into it so very well. They seem to have timing down to a T. And if I didn't know better, I would say that mousesports had the map up all day. As here comes the push.
Oh, this is big. Though, look at that play from Keo. Picks up the 2-piece, locks him down on ramp, and now this is just surely going to be their round. But no. How do they let this slip? It's just down to MBK now. He's got 2 players to deal with. He's taken down 2. 1 more stands. And with 8 seconds left, Gobby has to get the plant. MBK going to play it safe. He's going to take the long run. And that was down to the last second as well. Gobby does get the plant in, but will he expect MBK at jungle? He's checking CT. He expects CT. He's still watching that way. MBK going to start working his way in, and oh my god, these 2 players completely looking the wrong way. Who will get the spot first? It's Gobby. He spots him out, but MBK can still do this. He gets the tag through the box. This is still very close, and MBK comes, and he can't save the day this time. And Gobby coming up big when it matters. Him and Dennis just picking up the pieces, and I think we're going to see mousesports taking this game. EnVy just do not look on par. Their money has never been secure. And I've got to say, credit where it's due. Mouse have been working them on every single step. Look at this play.
That tag as well, falling from 70 to 40, and you can just see Gobby just playing it down to the wire. He had 4 points of health at the end of that one, but you're right. 2 individuals, Dennis and Gobby, bringing mousesports 1 step closer, and a huge step, more of a stride closer. Flimsy, another glass cannon. This time it's going to be in the hands of Smiths. As this time 3-2 split. No one bothering to control middle. Of course, that glass cannon AWP would be... I mean, he's been challenged by an AK of Gobby and Dennis when he had armor. Never mind when he doesn't. And this is going to be real tough now for EnVyUS. The hard graft back into this game. 2 now away from 16, and the bomb is in the hands of Dennis, and they are just spread across the map. This is another kind of staple from the mousesports attack.
I'm really liking it. Generally, they've been making EnVy rotate the wrong way. Spinning does check close. Keo goes down. No impact to come from him. But there's still 2 players on A, 2 on B. They've not got anyone in mid right now. Shocks and Smiths over by A. MBK and Happy locking down B. Mouse slowly working in towards that A side. They've got mid. They've still got Spitty working over by A apps, and it looks like it's going to be a mid play coming in. They've been doing this time and time again, but this time Smith says no, takes down Dennis, but Nex has the bomb. What can he do with it? Smiths adjusts, looks, takes it, takes down Chris J, adjusts for ramp, but they're not there. Oh, he was so close to hitting another, but he has kept them in this round, but can they close it out?
Spitty's nade says it's going to be difficult, as now Happy and NBK have it all to do. Their money is going to be crippled if they don't pick this one up. Oh my lord, he's been brought down to 30. He gets taken down to 0 as Nex does all the work. That's a double for him. 15 now, as it's going to be so tough for the Frenchman.
And I said this game was just to prove how much Mouse had improved themselves, how far had they come from those rounds, those games previously. And it is a huge improvement.
Night and day.
Absolutely. The team that we saw before had zero synergy, that kind of puggy style that worked out. Now we're seeing a team that can really challenge, that's drawing players from EnVyUS left, right, and center. And look at this buy again. Envy have no money. They can't achieve anything right now.
But the problem is that Envy are really not sure how to deal with this T side. Then, like, they just haven't quite worked it out. Kira's been forced to go like hyper aggressive onto ramp all the time, and it just doesn't suit him. With his Mag 7 again, he's kind of been trying to make this work, forcing this position to work for him. And mousesports, again, something different. I feel like we haven't seen them in the same place twice. The entirety of this T side. Big opener from Chris J. Another step closer. Dennis with another. 3 CTs remain from mousesports, causing a big upset here. The ESL, ESEA Pro League. Smiths not going to make it easy for them, though, as it's a 4v3. And that bomb's going to go down.
Oh, Spiddy just adjust off it. He waited, he got the cover. Now it's just MBK. It looks like mousesports might have just done this. MBK pulled off the ace before. He's having to do something almost similar. And now, with merely seconds left, the flashes, the utility, all being thrown at him. He can barely take a step towards his site, and I think he knows this one is just that step too far. But still, he tries. Looking in towards a site. They're set up well. Dennis awaits just on the other side of the wall, but the shot comes out from the corner. He's peeking, he's checking, but Chris J denies it, and can you believe it? mousesports picking up the win over Envy. That is massive. 8 rounds in a row in the end to close that one out on their T side. That is so impressive.
And I cannot credit the individuals of mousesports enough. Every time, of course, we had X-Ray, we have hindsight, it's so easy to say, but every time when you think about it, they read into the plays from EnVyUS. We were seeing 1v1s all across the map on every site where they knew there was going to be an EnVyUS member. That was like preparation, but that was also mousesports starting to get some understanding of their opponents and some synergy. Very good, very, very good, strong side.
And the thing I want to say is, it wasn't just the original mousesports players who were playing well. Their CT side was fine, right?
Yeah.
But it was their T side.
That's what I was
You
trying
saw
to
the
say.
likes of Next coming up. You saw all these players who were having kind of, not trouble fitting in, but they were new players to a new team. They didn't have that instant synergy, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
But that's where we saw their power coming in. Maybe this is what they've been looking for. Before, I think it was lightly touched upon that Gobby wanted to call in German, I believe, and maybe we're seeing that coming through, the language barrier kind of being overcome a little on their T side, because he had a fairly quiet game, excluding that 1v1 with MBK on the A side. But maybe he's taking more of a passive role. He's just going to try and call it out, kind of be that little bit further back player almost. But if you can pick up wins on Envy, why not? That is brilliant.
Yeah, so brilliant. Especially, I mean, we need to kind of eat our words somewhat, because we went into this game saying, yeah, so, you know, can mousesports make it difficult for Envy? We were very much just focused on this kind of mousesports of old. It seems that they are looking a little better, a little fresh-faced than when we last saw them perform. Really good to see that, you know, week 3 into the ESL, ESEA Pro League, and a team that started
They lost
weak
to Penta, let's bear in mind.
Right, exactly.
Penta, the team that was left in absolute shambles, where Mouse took 3 of their players, was able to beat them. Like, that was not long ago. This isn't like months ago. This is a couple of weeks ago. The turnaround, the performance in that game, if they can replicate that on other maps, is something teams will need to take care of now. There's not a weak team in mousesports.
And they will respect them. They will. I mean, not like one result alone completely, you know, defines a team and defines a performance, but teams now going to look at that and realize that mousesports is no easy win. Not that they've ever been considered an easy win, but they're going to have their eyes on them, and I understand why. That does conclude, though, our 3rd game of the night. We are going to be going into Dignitas Hellraisers to be our 4th.
That was my game of the day. Now I don't know what I'm thinking.
And let's be honest, like we were talking about Dignitas Hellraisers being, you know, this big spectacle. We've just had it already. Let's see if we can get a second one, and we'll be finding out after the break.